Hey, what's happening, peeps? Long time no see. We back again with another one. Life's been lifing, all good reasons though. So I appreciate y'all tuning in to today's episode. I got some content I want to bring y'all. Hope you all continue to find value in it, and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend and tell a friend. As always, I appreciate all the feedback. I know people have been reaching out saying, hey, when you going to drop some more content for us? And so I'm here to deliver. And so what I want to just talk about today is raises, right? We're getting to the end of the year. I talked about in a previous episode in terms of how you should be trying to set up your year for performance and be able to do your end of year reviews with your managers. If you haven't looked at that, take a look back at it. It'll really set you up for success. And so when you're completing your end of year self-review, you're really making sure that you highlight all your successes throughout the year there as well, and getting yourself the best opportunity to get a raise. And so what I really want to talk about today is there's various types of raises you can get. I don't know if everybody always understands those type of raises and the differences in them. And so there's really 5 that I think I want to hit on. And they're probably the more common ones, I would say. Maybe there, I don't want to say I know every single raise, but these are probably some of the more common ones you'll experience throughout your work career. And let's get into it. And so the first raise I'm going to talk about is a market assessment. And so this is really a raise that I would say that if you've been in a role for a long period of time and you've been in that role for maybe 5-10 years, and you've kind of got another kind of annual raise, which I'll touch on. But they've hired people in your same role at higher salaries. That can be a reason why they do a market assessment. Also, they'll assess kind of your job within the field itself, right? And what they're essentially trying to do is see if, based on all these factors, typically a person with your experience in your field, at your job, in your market, your geographical location, they would probably have a salary of this. And you may currently, even though you've been getting raises through your job, etc., you may have a salary of this. And so what they're doing is just bringing you up to make you in line with the overall industry average there as well. So give me just 1 second to drop something. But just to get you in line with the overall industry average there as well. And so it's called a market assessment, right? I just want to make sure you're in line. It's not good business sense for them to have you out of line for an extended period of time, especially if you know you're going to be upset, right? If they know it's just bad business on them, right? And so that's something that can happen any given point. It's not something that's based on any performance, any review. It's just when the company typically does their assessments. I would say on average, I've typically seen those done maybe every 3 to 5 years. A company will do that assessment. If they haven't done it and you feel that, do your own due diligence, and you feel that, hey, maybe you are, getting underpaid, do your own assessment and see if you can request one, right? Through your manager, through your HR, to see if that is something that is true there as well. So that first one is just a market assessment raise there. And so it doesn't happen common. It's not something you're going to see every single year there. The next one I have is just a merit raise. So that's just your normal, raise. They'll call it a cost of living raise, or, 2%, 3%, right? It's really not anything that's based on your performance. A lot of that's really going to be based on the company's ability to be able to give raises, for them to be able to, stay in line with the market, right? So, that's kind of something that they try to do consistently, to try to avoid having to do those market assessments on a regular basis, because that's not a good situation for them to have to continue to do market assessments every single year. That means that they're underpaying their employees on a regular basis. Word gets out about that. People don't want to work for that company if that's something that has to be a reoccurring theme there as well. And so a merit is just your standard, 2-3% cost of living raise annually happens. It's just, hey, companies elected to do this. And it's really across the board type of raise in that situation. It's not something where, one person gets it. You're typically going to see everyone across the board up to maybe a certain job title. Some of your executives or directors may not get that raise because they have kind of other compensation, but most of the time it's going to be across the board type of situation where everyone in the company is getting that raise of that standard there as well. So within that component, right, there's something that is really kind of a one-time kind of bonus merit raise. And so certain organizations have pay grades, right? And so based on your job title, this is your pay grade. This is your minimum you can get paid. This is the maximum you can get paid. And you may be in the organization based on when you came in, your skill set. You may be at the full ceiling of what your maximum salary is. And so with this one-time bonus merit raise, what happens is they announce that everyone is going to get a 3% raise, right, across the board, right? And you're at the ceiling when your pay grade, right? There's no more room for you to get a raise or increase unless they put you under the pay grade. They could potentially put you in a higher pay grade, but what they'll do is look at your salary, take 3% of that, what that raise would have been in terms of your pay, and just give you that in a one-time bonus there as well. So an example, let's say you made $100,000, everyone got a 3% raise. The maximum amount someone in your pay grade can make is $100,000. The 3% raise would have put you at $103,000. So when that raise kind of goes into effect for everyone across the board, your next paycheck, you'll get a 3%, you'll get a $3,000 one-time payment on it as well. And so, it's just kind of how those works. I would always try to see if you can, get into the next pay grade, but there are bonuses that are structured like that. And it's really, or not bonuses, there are raises that are structured like that. And so just to make sure you understand how that actually works there as well. The next one I want to talk about is performance. And so this goes into what I previously mentioned in terms of your end of year review, making sure that you are documenting all the things that you've accomplished, all the successes that you've had throughout the course of the year. This is something that's going to be a little bit more subjective. It's going to compare you to your peers, what you bring to the organization, things that you've been able to accomplish there. And this is really where you say, hey, this isn't a raise that you get based on your performance. And so that's why you want to make sure you document everything in your end of year review, right? Because your manager, if they're managing a team, they remember some of the information, but they may not be remembering every single thing that you've done. And so you need to make sure that you sell and promote yourself and recognize every single thing that you've accomplished, because that's going to help you out in this situation when it's time to get a raise based on your performance there as well. So isn't your merit just normal 2-3%, right? This is something above and beyond that. Maybe you get a 6, 7, 8, 10% raise on it as well, right? Sometimes the merit raise can be combined with this type of raise, meaning, hey, everybody's going to get a standard 2 or 3%, but we're going to give you an extra 5% on top of that because we really value you with the organization. We appreciate everything you've done this year, et cetera as well. And so this type of raise is subjective. And it's not something that everyone's going to get the same thing, right? So, you just be aware of it, right? Some people get more, some people get less, but you need to make sure that you're putting your best presentation forward to show everything and highlight yourself in the best light so that you're able to get the maximum amount that's available to you always there as well. So that's kind of the performance base on that. Like I said, sometimes it is coupled with a merit raise there together. And then the last one I want to touch on is a retention raise, right? This is a raise that's to help keep you with the organization. And it can be through a couple ways when I say keep you with the organization. It can be because the organization is going through changes. They were bought, there's mergers, there are acquisitions, and they want you to feel secure. They want you to feel comfortable with these changes. And so they will give you an additional amount of salary, increase in salary or compensation on it as well. And it could also be if you are potentially leaving because a competitor has offered you another opportunity and they want to retain you. And so they'll offer you a raise there as well. One thing that is different from the other raises that I've mentioned, these typically come with some type of stipulation, right? Meaning you agree to stay with the company for a year or 2 years or, something of that nature there as well, right? They don't always come with that type of stipulation, but because they're saying, hey, we want to keep you and we're giving you this extra money and we want you to agree to stay with us, there can be some stipulations that come along with that. And so if you are, offered this type of raise, make sure you read the fine print so that you understand, what all comes with this raise there as well. You don't want to find out after the fact that there was some type of obligation that you were required to fulfill in order, or something or you'd have to do something there as well. So definitely just check on that and make sure you're aware of that information before agreeing to anything there. So so just recapping here, I just wanted to kind of touch on those types of raises. I think they're the 5 most common ones that you'll typically experience. There's definitely other things in terms of compensation, which I'll touch on at a later date. But just understanding the nuances of raises, I think it's important for you to make sure that you're understanding where the numbers are coming from or how they're getting those numbers there that they're coming with, and what those actual terms mean from a raise perspective there. And so, let me know in the comments if there's raises that you like that I missed that you want me to talk about. If there's different types of raises that you've experienced. Let me know what you think about this content. Is it informative to you? Did you find some value in it? And let me know what you want to hear more of. And so I got some more content. I'm gonna keep it going. I'm back in the swing of things. So be looking out for new content coming. And as always, I appreciate you all tuning in today's episode. If I'm lit and you lit, then we lit. So stay lit. I'm out.